why you fail to act on the warnings. It is entirely common for victims of our kind to fail to either see or act on the red flags during seduction and the black flags during abuse. Often, there are certain subtleties of behaviour and feeling that you experience that you can't quite put your finger on it, and something doesn't feel right. But you have that sensation, and you're not sure what to do about it, what the answer is. In fact, you are invariably being given a warning sign, but you either fail to notice it or act on it. Here are some comments made by victims, which may sound familiar to you. I am left feeling I am not good enough. I am always waiting for him to call. She never seems to listen to me. I feel like I always have to respond straight away. I do not feel settled. I always feel like I am being scrutinized. I feel like I am out of my depth. I am always wondering whether he is serious or joking with me. I struggle to tell. I cannot seem to think about anything other than him. She makes me feel left out. It seems like I am always running around after him. I always feel like I have to please them. I feel like I am on trial. I find myself always having to explain myself. It feels more like an obligation than a friendship. I am often left wondering what is happening. I am often left feeling unsure of myself. I feel like I am always on call for her. I keep feeling jealous, and that makes me feel bad. I am anxious for him to leave her and be with me. If I express an opinion, I feel like I am being unfair in doing so. It is great when we are together, but then I'm left feeling uncertain when we are apart. I am sure he doesn't mean to make me feel nervous, but I am. I don't think I am good enough. I don't want to let her down. Nothing seems to bother him, and I'm such a worrier, I'll put him off. I don't understand why he still keeps in touch with her, but I don't feel like I can say anything. I am nervous that I will mess this up, and he is so wonderful. It's nothing specific, but there's something that makes me uneasy. It is probably just me. Doubtless many of you will find some of those comments will resonate with you. You have been created with emotional empathy. This has formed the bedrock for your worldview and your perspective. This accords with the majority perspective and forms the basis for those subjective qualities of what is deemed as good and bad. There is no objective consideration of good and bad. It is all a matter of perspective. It is not written down on stone tablets at the end of the universe for us to refer to. You operate within the majority perspective, and therefore your perspective of the concepts of good and bad prevail, because they are adopted by the majority of people on this planet. When you encounter something which contrasts with this majority perspective, you often don't see it as a clear shining example. Instead, you have a feeling or a gut instinct. This is the manifestation of behaviour which clashes with your empathic worldview. This is your alarm bell. There are those of you whose alarm bell doesn't often ring at all, although you are limited in number. For most of those who are empathic, the alarm bell rings through some kind of feeling encapsulated by many of the phrases that I described to you earlier, and more besides. So far, so effective. You have an established worldview formed by your emotional empathy. When you encounter behaviour which contrasts with this empathic worldview, your alarm bell goes off. Where it is one of our kind, and it almost is always one of our kind, which has caused this alarm bell to sound, this is when the problem starts. Your alarm bell sounds, but you attribute it to the wrong cause. You either think that the cause is an external reason for this alarm bell, such as the offending individual is tired or exhausted, The individual is drunk. The individual is suffering from stress. The individual is suffering from grief or bereavement. The individual is under some kind of pressure. The individual suffers from anger management issues. The individual is highly strung, and others besides. The alternative is that you think that there is an internal reason for their behaviour, i.e. the way that you have behaved, such as you are too sensitive, you've been hurt before, you're too direct, you think badly of people too quickly, you are too trusting, you were not listening, you judge too soon, you are tired, upset or stressed, you are insensitive to the needs of others, you are worried, and more besides. Accordingly, when your alarm bell rings, you end up attributing the sensation of something feeling wrong to either an external cause to that you are the problem. This is incorrect. It's akin to your burglar alarm going off and you think it was a passing cat, or that you actually tripped the sensor yourself. No, it was the burglar. Something which offends your worldview offends the logic of your world. Your logic seeks to warn you by creating a feeling or a sensation, the alarm bell, so that you take action. Unfortunately for you, when this occurs within the narcissistic dynamic, there are two factors which interfere in this warning system. The first is a lack of understanding about the nature of the individual that is generating the behaviour which causes the alarm. The red and black flags that signal that you're dealing with a narcissist which is engaging in behaviours which are offending your worldview. You don't understand about those red and black flags. You don't understand about narcissism. Therefore, if you don't understand or know about it, how on earth can you attribute the going off of the alarm bell to those factors? The second is the obscuring nature of your emotional thinking caused by your addiction to the narcissist. Your emotional thinking doesn't want you to pay attention to the alarm's actual source, i.e. the narcissist, and instead diverts you to thinking that it is an external source, incorrect, or that it's your fault, also incorrect, so that you don't blame or remove yourself from the narcissist, and thus you keep on feeding the addiction. Your emotional thinking doesn't want you abiding by the logic of your world. It doesn't want you acting on the alarm by identifying the real cause, the narcissist, and then taking the logical step to avoid further harm, further feelings that something is wrong, by removing yourself from the real cause, the narcissist. Your emotional thinking doesn't want you to do what's actually best for you. It doesn't want you to know the actual source of the alarm, nor act on that alarm. It wants you looking in the wrong place, so that even where you understand about narcissism, you fail to apply that understanding. You take the incorrect course of action, so that you remain interacting with the narcissist, feeding the addiction, and keeping your emotional thinking high. For a very unfortunate few of you, there is no inherent alarm system, and you need to build one. It's hard work, but it is achievable. For the vast majority of you listening, you do have this alarm system, but it's infected and caused a malfunction by making you look in the wrong place for the problem and not act on the actual problem. Fortunately for you, this faulty alarm system can be corrected, although it requires repeated and ongoing maintenance, which is naturally most worthwhile. You need to keep that emotional thinking under control. You need to keep reminding yourself of the red and black flags. There's a valid reason why you often feel that something is not right with the person that you're dealing with. It is your early warning system, but it's not perfect. And it's fundamental that you understand and recognize this, and understand that it is here that you're able, through my work, to perfect its operation. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.